My son. Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep shit up, his ass going to prison.
You want to talk about some other like this being shit? Just being shit. No, I'm being real. You lying. You lying. You up here flagging. You're cat. Don't be in this bitch.
Wait till I come back in the month for late night, and then it's just you, and I slap you up. Yeah. You trying to act off, son? All like this in front of all your people. Tell your mama I said Happy Mother's Day, and then carrying in my face and shit. Like what?
Stand by right here for me. 32, I'm 10 extend, 1 detain. Spread your legs slightly. I just need to pat you down.
Welcome back to Fame Flux, where the truth behind fame gets exposed. T.I. is facing one of the darkest moments of his life after his son, King Harris, was reportedly sentenced to 5 years behind bars, a development that has stunned fans and the hip-hop community alike. Known for publicly defending his son through past controversies, T.I. was seen visibly emotional outside the courthouse, pacing and holding his head in disbelief as news of the sentence spread online. According to insiders, the charges stem from a string of escalating incidents that prosecutors claimed painted a picture of reckless behavior. While King's legal team reportedly pushed for probation or a lighter sentence, the court ultimately handed down the harsh 5-year term, citing prior warnings and repeated run-ins with authorities. Witnesses at the sentencing say T.I. appeared devastated but tried to remain composed as cameras swarmed. On social media, he later posted a cryptic message, "Family first, always. We'll fight through this." Fans flooded timelines with mixed reactions, some offering prayers and support, others criticizing the lifestyle and choices that led to this moment. With King Harris now facing years in prison, T.I.'s meltdown highlights the personal toll of fame, pressure, and public scrutiny. The Harris family's next moves will determine whether this crisis strengthens or shatters them further. And the wildest part is that this is exactly what T.I. predicted back in 2022 if King didn't change his ways.
Yes, sir.
There's one in the way.
Does your buddy have one as well? Alright, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You gotta take.
There's no safety.
You take
okay.
the out.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. You'd step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. Alright, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna be at the church. Alright, I appreciate you being full, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't sure it is.
Just take a step to the side for me.
The warnings were clear and public. No one can act shocked now because the signs were everywhere. From reckless driving to that viral Waffle House fight to flashing weapons in music videos, King had been stacking up trouble like it was nothing, turning every headline into a red flag waving in plain sight. The arrest footage from 2024 showed just how far it went, almost crashing into a police car, pounding on the car door, a gun on his hip, and that old 2022 warrant finally catching up to him. It was like every bad choice he had ever made came crashing back at once, creating a perfect storm of consequences. Even fans who defended him before were left speechless watching the clips roll out. What makes the whole situation even heavier is the timing. Just weeks after that arrest, King became a dad, a new chapter that could have been his turning point. He was posting about his newborn, dropping a heartfelt song called Dear Son, and acting like he was ready to step up. But reality was already closing in around him. Instead of settling into fatherhood, he's now staring down a courtroom that could take him away for half a decade. The contrast between holding a newborn and facing 5 years behind bars is striking. A reminder of how fast life can flip when choices catch up. This is no longer a story about a rising celebrity. It's a high-stakes cautionary tale.
Son, think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmama, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had that conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn out.
For an entire generation watching online. Let's get into how King Harris went from being the son of a hip-hop legend to possibly sitting in court facing a 5-year prison sentence. Because the story behind this is far messier than most people think. It all started back in October 2024, the day King Harris officially crashed out and turned a bad situation into breaking news. He pulled out of a gas station in his BMW and almost ran straight into a police car. You couldn't script this. The officers walked up and instantly smelled trouble. First, they caught the scent of weed, then they spotted a gun sitting on his hip, a combination that practically guaranteed an arrest. By that point, they already knew they were taking him in, and the entire stop flipped into crisis mode within seconds. When they ran his name, it got even worse. Turns out King still had an open warrant from 2022 for speeding, driving on a suspended license, and a DUI. Instead of showing up in court like everyone else, he let that one mistake sit there waiting to bite him. And in 2024, it finally did, stacking his charges higher and making his legal fight far more complicated than a single arrest. The arrest video that leaked online, first on Badge Chronicles and then Vlad TV, is almost 30 minutes long, and honestly, it's wild to watch. You see the cops pull him out, take the gun off his hip, cuff him, pat him down, and stick him in the back of the car like a full-on crime documentary unfolding in real time. Every second feels tense and chaotic. King isn't spazzing out, but you can see he's irritated. Like he knows he messed up, but there's no fast talking his way out this time. The video shows it all. King being pulled out, cuffed, and loaded into the patrol car. It's a snapshot of a night that could change the rest of his life. A vivid example of how quickly everything can collapse when past mistakes catch up. An officer even said afterward that King was calm and cooperative the entire time. But calm or not, it didn't change the outcome. He still ended up in DeKalb County Jail before being moved over to Pickens, turning what started as a routine stop into a major headline that spread across every blog and platform. Once the warrant was recalled, King went from flexing on Instagram to sitting in a jail cell with the entire internet watching. That's the sting. Because I had already warned everybody about this years ago. Back in 2022, when King was just starting to spiral, T.I. went on Instagram, laying it all out in front of the public, predicting exactly where this path would lead if it didn't stop. He made it clear that if his son didn't slow down, prison would be the only outcome. And he wasn't speaking as just a worried father. He was speaking as someone who had been through the system himself, someone who knew the consequences firsthand and wanted his son to avoid the same scars. Fans at the time thought it was tough love, but now it feels like prophecy coming true in real time. This moment showed how quickly a lifestyle of flexing and risk-taking can shift from flashy posts to real consequences. One day it's designer outfits and fast cars. The next day it's mugshots and legal documents. The visuals of King going from social media stardom to a cold cell in such a short time left the internet buzzing and stunned. A cautionary scene unfolding for millions to see. Tip even said straight up, time is going to be his teacher. And now that teacher has shown up in the form of a possible 5-year sentence. When the clips of King's arrest started circulating online, fans instantly went back to that old video of T.I. speaking and started dragging him, turning the internet into a nonstop commentary zone. Some people were like, see, he spoke it into existence. While others felt bad, imagining the pain of watching your warning play out in real time with millions of people watching. Either way, the internet couldn't stop pointing out how right T.I. was. He knew the energy, he saw the pattern, and still King didn't listen. And speaking of King not listening, let's not forget the infamous Waffle House meltdown. This was back in 2022. And honestly, it was one of the first times people really started side-eyeing him, saying, "Oh yeah, he's headed down a bad road." That incident became the blueprint of his spiral. A video went viral showing King in a full-blown screaming match with the staff at Waffle House. A heated back and forth where he was acting way bigger than he really was. You could see it plain as day. He wanted to prove something, but instead of looking tough, he looked entitled, reckless, and totally out of control. Even T.I. couldn't defend that one, later admitting he was baffled by why his son even stopped to argue with a short-order cook in the first place. That clip now looks like a prophecy, an early public red flag showing how quickly King's choices were lining up with disaster. Instead of a young artist focusing on music, fans saw a teenager chasing confrontation, ignoring advice, and setting himself up for the same system his father had warned him about. Each viral moment wasn't just drama. It was another step on the path to this courtroom showdown. T.I. went live later and said he was completely perplexed, genuinely confused why his son even stopped what he was doing just to argue with a short-order cook at Waffle House. He couldn't understand why King felt the need to match that energy at all, and it became one of the first public moments where even T.I. couldn't excuse his behavior. The clip showed King caught up in pure chaos, making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And if the Waffle House drama wasn't embarrassing enough, the entire gun situation really showed how far off track King was drifting. Remember when T.I. and Boosie had to check their sons on camera? That clip went viral for a reason. It was the moment the dads had to step in and publicly pull back their kids before something irreversible happened. King and Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, were shooting a music video, but instead of focusing on the music, they had guns all over the set like it was a trap house. That's when the father stepped in with urgency. You can hear T.I. basically saying, "Why y'all even toting guns when you got girls right here?" The tension was thick and the message was clear. Talk about love turning into a full lecture. I started breaking down how one wrong move with a weapon or having drugs around could land them straight in jail. The wild part is he wasn't even being harsh. He was literally giving them the blueprint to avoid the exact mess he already went through, laying out the dangers in plain language. You can actually see that moment for yourself. T.I. and Boosie sitting their sons down, spelling out why flashing guns in videos is a straight road to jail. That conversation was supposed to be a turning point, but in hindsight, it feels like another ignored warning sign that predicted the storm coming for King Harris. Fans actually praised both dads for stepping in, saying it was refreshing to see them trying to guide their kids instead of just letting them wild out. But the problem was King. You could tell he wasn't really listening. He heard the words but didn't absorb the message, and the disconnect was obvious to anyone paying attention. This gap between guidance and action would soon become a theme in his life. What had fans really side-eyeing him wasn't just the music videos or the temper, it was his personal life. Especially when he popped up with a baby mama that had everybody talking nonstop. The mother of his child, who goes by Big Nana, was rumored to be much older than King, and let's be real, the speculation went into overdrive. Fans didn't hold back. Some swore she was only with him for the money, others called her a groupie trying to secure a check. Either way, the age gap and the social media chatter had people debating, gossiping, and posting screenshots. But King, he couldn't care less. He leaned all the way in, throwing her a full baby shower, posting about the pregnancy, and when their son was born in November 2024, he couldn't stop bragging. Here's a clip of King celebrating with Big Nana, looking like everything was perfect. Not long after, he was online proudly talking about his newborn son, presenting himself as a young father stepping up despite the chaos. He even dropped a track called Dear Son, where he wrote about stepping up as a dad, captioning his post with, "November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr., time to take over." The posts felt like a turning point, and honestly, for a second, it looked like maybe he was finally ready to change, like fatherhood might actually humble him and pull him away from chaos. But of course, the timing couldn't have been worse, because while King was holding his newborn and playing proud dad on Instagram, that arrest video was making the rounds online, reminding everybody of the trouble he was already deep in. The contrast was heartbreaking. New life in one hand, potential prison in the other. He was already at the saddest point. And the wildest part is this wasn't even shocking. Fans had been saying for years that King's wild behavior would eventually catch up to him. And now here it was, full circle, exactly how people predicted. The internet started lighting up, pointing out how all the warning signs had been ignored. So if a judge really hits King with 5 years, don't be surprised if T.I. looks more hurt than angry. Because yes, he warned him, and yes, he tried to guide him. But when it's your child sitting in that courtroom in shackles, that pain cuts deep, no matter how much you've prepared. This isn't just headlines, it's heartbreak unfolding in real time. If you've seen their podcast together, you already know the bond is there, which is why this would hit T.I. even harder. The cameras may show a stoic face, but behind the scenes, it's a father watching his son face the same system he once survived. That irony makes this story even heavier, and it's going to hit his image too. People already drag T.I., saying he failed as a father, that all the money and fame in the world couldn't stop his son from spiraling. If King actually gets sentenced, those voices are only going to grow louder, especially because T.I. has always branded himself as the OG dad who knows better and teaches lessons, a brand now under fire. But at the same time, T.I. has made it clear he's going to love King through it all, no matter how messy it gets. You already know. Even if he's disappointed, he'll be the first one standing by him in that courtroom. That public loyalty may cost him critics, but it also cements his image as a father who shows up no matter what. And of course, the internet had a lot to say once the arrest footage and court updates started making the rounds. The reactions were all over the place. Some people clowning, some low-key impressed, and others just hoping he gets it together before it's too late. This is now bigger than celebrity drama. It's a family crisis happening in the public eye. One fan straight up said, "King is enjoying every minute, knowing he might go viral. He knows he's being recorded." And honestly, you can see that in the video. Even while he's getting cuffed, King isn't lashing out. He's calm, maybe too calm, like he knows the cameras are rolling and it's just another clip for the blogs. That composure almost feels like performance under pressure. Then there was the crowd calling this his so-called street cred moment. Someone commented, "That man finally got his street cred. He's been telling y'all he outside." And that right there shows how twisted this whole situation is, because instead of focusing on his newborn son, people think King is out here chasing a jail record just to prove he's real. It's a dangerous and distorted badge of honor in the social media era. But not every comment was harsh. Some people actually tried to give him grace. One person wrote, "He gonna be fine. He's been doing good since his son was born, so I'm wishing him blessings. He handled himself well." That's the flip side. People hoping fatherhood will really ground him, even if prison ends up part of the lesson, clinging to hope that this is his wake-up call. And for T.I., it's like watching history repeat itself. The same system he fought to survive now swallowing up his own son. And the worst part is that deep down, T.I. saw this coming, so don't get it twisted. This isn't just King Harris wilding out for headlines. This is a real possibility of prison time, a real consequence, and a real test of legacy, family, and reputation. If a judge really makes that 5-year sentence official, King's story won't just be another viral clip. It'll be a hard lesson stamped into his life forever. This is the defining moment between reckless fame and lasting change. If you've been following this story and want more unfiltered breakdowns, raw updates, and behind-the-scenes details the headlines won't show, hit that like button and subscribe right now. Because this saga is far from over and the next chapter could drop at any moment.